it would just remind me more and more that I don't look like him, if I talk to the family. And I had to pull, the essence of him out of this history and pour it inside me. That was the more important, I think, work to do in this case. Going down to Kansas City. Let's go.
Nah, it's good. That's how you started off, man. This is big for you. But here's the deal. I know people are making a big fuss about you playing Black Panther, but this is your first role as a true Black superhero.
Right. You're right. Yeah. He's many places at one time dealing with justice across the country and saving the day. So he's definitely a superhero. Yeah.
Were you ever apprehensive about doing this? Because you've done the biopic thing. So when they slid you the script, what were your initial thoughts?
Every biopic that comes to my attorneys and my agents and managers, it's like they immediately are like, we'll read it, but so it first of all, it's got to get to me, and then second, if it gets to me, like half the time I'm like, nope. So just the fact that it actually, it took me knowing Reggie, it took me wanting to work with Reggie, it took the fact that it was Paula Wagner, longtime successful producer, who was friends with my agent, saying, Chad, you need to read it, And so it's the fact that it was a biopic was a definite no. And then also I didn't look like him, so it took, the script being really, really, really good, and the fact that it was Reggie and Thurgood Marshall's son, John Marshall, writing a letter saying, we want you to play this. So it took all of that for me to go, okay, I'll do it.
That's a lot, but I mean,
Yeah.
Thankfully you did it. How much did you know about Thurgood Marshall before you said, okay, I'll do it?
I knew a lot about him, but I think once I started to read more, it's because facts are facts, but it's like the context of it all and who he was. Like once I realized how, and the script really did a really good job of presenting some of that and giving you a sense of that. But once I realized that, okay, there's a lot to do with this character. There's a lot to do with the time period that we're in, and a lot to do with how does he get people to do certain things. Because if I just read it verbatim, I'm like, these things don't even make sense. It has to be who he is as a person that makes a lot of things happen. And so once I realized that, I realized it was a great work to take on.
How much interaction did you have with the actual living family members, where you could
very little,
very little,
very little, because then once I got their go ahead, and I realized, well, they didn't know this man, they weren't alive when this man was doing this work, and I could pull so much from, I think, the context. And I knew I didn't look like him, and since it would just remind me more and more that I don't look like him, if I talk to the family, and I had to pull, the essence of him out of this history and pour it inside me. That was the more important, I think, work to do in this case.
All right, congratulations.